Hi everybody, Tim Bartz here, McArthur Ford, and I'm actually at home. Been a little under the weather last couple days, and so I'm going to be streaming to you today from my house, from one of the rooms in my house. And so I just so probably a little shorter than normal. I may not answer a lot of questions either today, just because you can tell I have some congestion and such, and it's not always fun to do this. So, but in fact, yesterday I was thinking I wasn't going to do this at all today because of how under the weather I was, but feeling much better today and said I want to deliver content to you guys, and I had some things, and hopefully you guys got a chance to check out Johnny's car care and reviews video earlier. He had some really cool updates and on some information, some news, and some future models, and so hope you guys had a chance to check his channel out. And he does. I think it's really cool to have his video usually goes live on a Tuesday night as well as many nights throughout the week. He does a lot more videos than I do, but then also to just go in, jump into ours as well. So we have a lot of same thought processes and everything behind it, and delivering you guys the accurate information. So here we go. As I mentioned, it's gonna be a little shorter, so the time there is a little shorter. We're gonna jump in and go through some scheduling information, some production stuff. Not gonna do much with the news. Johnny did mention some news earlier in his video, so you might check it out. But I was just going to jump in and do some of the basics here and get through a topic and see how I feel and see about answering questions after that. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, see if I can get all my things down here. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed. Hit that red notification bell, or hit that red subscribe button and hit the notification bell, so that way you can get notified when we do go live. Just like Tuesday night here. Also, don't forget, if we're going to be recording this as an audio format podcast, so we are going to be doing that. So if you want to view that, you can, your favorite podcasting channels, you can use that there. Whatever you use, you can always find those. Should be able to find it there. But if not, you can go ahead that's the wrong one. That one there. You can go to our website, McArthur.com/fordvideoguy, and you can find our podcast there as well. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, you want to see the video format of me in my t-shirt just slumming it in the house, you can do that as well. There's going to be just two graphics on this podcast, or the video live stream, but if you want to come on over and ask questions in the future, make sure that you're doing that as well by checking it out live if you can, or you can always watch it recorded on YouTube too. It stays on there and lives on there, just like our other 39 episodes prior to this are still on there as well. So also, don't forget, if you do want to become a member, it's pretty easy to do. Just go down there, click that join button beside the subscribe button, and that way you can go ahead and join the membership, learn a little bit more about it, what we do for our members, just a way for me to stay connected better to the community, and I really enjoy that. In fact, those that have been members for 6 months, we have tumblers that are going out this week. In fact, I think Sarah got them all sent out today. She's going on maternity leave. Which brings me to the next thing, is that we will not be going on Facebook Live this Thursday, because that is the day Sarah's going to be having her baby. So Theo is going to come into this world on Thursday, at some point Thursday, and so if I'm feeling better, I'll be able to go. I'm going to go over there. Otherwise, if I'm not still feeling up to it, because I don't want to get the baby sick or anything, then I'll probably stay home. But I will not be doing Facebook Live Thursday night regardless. So then also some different videos that we had go live recently. We had the Bronco Sport Outer Banks video that went live last Wednesday, I believe. So it seems like it's been longer than that, but last Wednesday. And then also the 22 Lincoln Nautilus, the standard. I hate that they call it standard, because there's nothing standard about all the equipment you get on that version, that trim level, but that video link is down in the description as well. So both those links are down in the description. And then I recorded a 22 Black Widow Ranger. Not sure if Sarah got that edited before. She had a chance to today being her last day, but while she's on maternity leave, I should say. But if not, I'll get that recorded when I get back to work, and we'll get that uploaded probably before next Tuesday. So that video should be coming in the next week as well. And then also a cool event we have going on this Saturday, we will have Mitch Lightfoot of the Kansas Jayhawks, the national championship Kansas Jayhawks, by the way. Mitch Lightfoot, more wins on his record by playing there than any other Kansas player. 170 wins to his record, and so he is going. Going to be at McArthur from 10 to 11 on Saturday. So if you're in the area, you're from Kansas, you want to come by, get his autograph, come on by. Mitch Lightfoot will be there. He's also going to be cutting a couple commercials for us as well on Friday. So this is going to be a fun time to spend with him. And I want to see if I can, hopefully I'm feeling better by then, that we can see if we can get him in a Maverick. So that's one of my goals, is what can he fit in a Maverick? So anyway, I'll see if I can get that accomplished, if I'm feeling good enough to be able to do that. If not, we'll see if we can get him in over here to do something in the future for that. But that'll be a lot of fun there too. So, all right, diving in, scheduling for this week. Bring my phone a little closer. So we have the Mustang Mach-E is scheduling this week. It'll be scheduling for the weeks of 7/4 to 7/25 build weeks. So pretty much most of July. The Escape, same weeks. It'll be scheduling this week for 7/4 to 7/5. So most of July. The Edge will be scheduling for the month of June, actually. So 5/30 to the week of 5/27. Explorer can be scheduling for the week of June 27th through the weeks of July 25th. So they're going to be scheduling for about 3 or 4 weeks there. Expedition, same weeks as the Mach-E and Escape, 7/4 to 7/25. So they're scheduling for the month of July in a sense. And then F-150 for the week of June 13th, which is the week that my Lightning's being built. And then the Super Duty for the week of June 27th. Transit is scheduling for the week of August 1st, and I believe we're on the build out for the Transit. So these are the last ones that get scheduled. Will be for the Transit. Will be coming up this month here that we're in. Transit Connect for the week of 7/18 and the week of 7/25. Corsair is scheduling for the week of 7/4 through 7/26 or 7/25. Where did I get that from? Nautilus is scheduling for the week of 5/30 through 6/27, so the month of June for the most part. Aviator, 6/27 to 7/25. And Navigator scheduling for the weeks of 7/4 to 7/25. So those are the weeks that they're going to be scheduling for. The models are not scheduling. You probably noticed if it's one of the ones that you're looking at. Mustang is not scheduling this week. Bronco Sport, Maverick, and Ranger. So all those out there with the Maverick, I did not exclude the Maverick. I did. It's not scheduling. So just so you know that. So. Oh, looks like Sarah's on the stream here. So, yep, Sarah already told them that what you'll be doing Thursday. So, delivering a baby. Anyway, so dealer bulletins, I wanted to kind of let you know about the F-150. I mentioned this last week, but I want to clarify some things. So there's some things you'll want to make sure are added to your vehicle. And Ford said that these things would be added to the orders, but just to make sure, you might want to make sure your orders, those are added to it, because they will not get selected for scheduling if you don't have these on there. So the auto start stop removal, the active park assist 2.0 removal, the multi-contoured seat with active motion removal are now required for all new orders and unscheduled units, and will include credits on the window sticker. So make sure you have that. Now, if you have the optional max recline seats or the Carmelo interior or the active adaptive steering, they are no longer available to order and will need to be removed from new orders and unscheduled units. So even if you did, get yours ordered that way, now it is not available. So even your unscheduled units will need to be taken off. So just keep that in mind with that. So they did say certain scheduled retail stock and fleet units, including the multi-contoured seats with active motion, will will be amended by Ford to include the removal. So That has to be, they said, by last week. So you might just double check, because they said that on a Bronco on another time, and they didn't take those options off for a while. So if you want to get yours scheduled, you might want to make sure that those are taken off, or those options technically are added to your order, which takes off the feature, but you know what I mean. F-150 Lightning phone is a key units. So any unit that was built between April 11th through the month of June will not have the access to phone as a key. It will be activated late summer over the air by Ford PowerUp software updates. So the units that will be affected by that would be if you have a Lariat 510A with the Copilot Active 2.0, the 511A, or the 710A, which is your Platinum. So pretty much, you know, your Lariats and Platinum are affected by that, which includes my truck. So my truck will be built without the phone as a key activated. I'm not sure if I want to activate it or not. I read an article saying that they were saying that that can somehow be hacked. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. I probably have the keys on me anyway, so it's probably not a big feature to me. But anyway, so just so you guys know that, put those vehicles out there. Currently, we want to kind of go over, because there's a lot of the order banks, or there's been closeout on a lot of the different models, that I thought, what models can we order vehicles for right now, right? So right now we're down to these models. So the Mustang can still be ordered, the Bronco Sport can be ordered, the Edge and the Explorer, those can all be ordered right now. And then all your Lincolns can still be ordered. So in case you're wanting to know, if you're looking to get a Bronco Sport, Edge, Explorer, they are open to order. And we're getting into summer now. I mean, my wife's she's got last day of school is this Thursday. So once school is out, usually that's usually when it's summertime for me. We're getting real close to being able to start ordering 23 model years on a lot of these vehicles, and usually most of them are August, and I think even F-150 is July this year. So July, August, September is when we can start scheduling and ordering. I should say not scheduling, but ordering these new models for 23. So we're not that far away from that. Some of these models will run to that deadline if they don't have they don't have a lot of build out. I know Edge, Explorer, for us, they are ordering stock units, so that's not that surprising to me that we do see that. So anyway, all right, so I want to get into Ford news, and is it true? And I think in my description I have that 15 minutes in, which is just in a couple minutes, so I might wait a couple minutes. Let me see if I can read a comment or two. I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this. This tablet is so small, but for some reason I could see just fine last week, but not this week, because I have it on my lap. So any questions here? Was under the impression that Ford was going to remove those items no longer available if they were not removed already. Correct. I sorry if I didn't clarify that. Ford did say that they would remove those, but I'm just saying, just in case, like on the Bronco, it was several weeks before those were removed. So if you just, if you don't want to miss out on being scheduled this week or next week, if your order would come up with it on there, it may not get scheduled. So you may just want to make sure that Ford did take it off. You might ask your dealer, hey, did those get taken off my order, just to clarify that and make sure, because they won't get scheduled with that unless those are, actually it's the remove, it's an option that has to be added to it, as I mentioned. But all right. Next question. Sorry to see you sick. Tim, stay well. And Sarah, congrats in advance. All right. And any other questions? Got 1 minute. Let me go up here, see if there's any other questions. Don't forget to tag at Lon McArthur if you have a question. I'll probably try to answer some questions afterwards. Again, just depends on how I'm feeling. But that congestion just kicks in. I get the coughing. I may not want to stick on here for very long, but anyway. All right. I don't think I see any questions. People, you guys do a pretty good job of saving those questions for when I'm ready for them, so I appreciate that. So, all right. So, a little early here. We'll get into this. So, so this week I had someone that had posted. I always find some good content, whether it be on Facebook or on the Maverick Truck Club. And for this week's Is It True? I did find this on the Maverick Truck Club, that somebody had contacted Ford customer support, and the agent there told them that they were only going to be able to produce 40% of the 22 hybrid orders this year, and that they were planning to convert the remaining 60% in model year 2023 production. So I think this is another situation where the agent was confused on what Ford was telling them, or either that or it was misunderstood by the person that posted that. So, what the 40-60% mix is not on how many they're going to produce this year, but how many they're going to produce for the month. So again, I kind of talked about this last week, but if they're going to produce, let's say they're going to produce 100 this week, well, 40% of them, 40, are going to be hybrid, and the other 60 are going to be EcoBoost. Not that they're only going to build 40% of them, because I believe they've already surpassed that number already for the year. I think they've gotten more than the number of hybrids scheduled and getting even probably produced than that. So that is not true. So just to clarify, I think sometimes it's just a clarification on how things are taken, and knowing the terminology on orders, on scheduling, on production. Those are terms that we just need to that I think it's just getting clarification on. So somebody puts in that order is in there. When it gets scheduled, that means it's scheduled to have a production date. So once your vehicle is scheduled, first of all, you do get a VIN number once it's scheduled. And once you get that VIN number, it will get built as in that model year. And so it is scheduling for a production date, and the production means that's the date they're producing the vehicle, they are making the vehicle, and then getting it out to you. So those terminologies are some things sometimes I think get overlooked and get misunderstood there. So anyway. Oh, so I can answer a couple more questions before I get into topic for tonight, which is going to be a quick topic. I kind of talked about it last week a little bit. This week I have some graphics to go along with it and how to be able to look up your orders and such. But any more questions? Throw those questions out to me. All right, so Richard has, so when are you and Johnny going to do a show together? Don't know. We'll have to talk about that. So I wouldn't mind doing that. Wouldn't mind at all. All right, any other questions? No questions for me? All right, is there any chance at all of Ford changing the customer's order and not telling them? Like in a situation like this, they'll tell the dealer. They will do that. So hopefully the dealer communicates to you. But in this situation, a lot of times, like we had a bunch of orders that excuse me, we had a lot of orders that weren't getting scheduled, and Ford actually said you need to recommend that you need to tell these customers to take these off their orders. They're not getting scheduled unless they take those off. They actually had us communicate to the customer to get their permission to take it off. So usually Ford will not take things off orders without your knowledge. They usually ask the dealers to reach out to you. These are situations where they're telling dealers to reach out to everybody and let them know that these need to be taken off your orders or they won't be scheduled. So technically, so there's a little bit of both. So usually if it's a major constraint item, where they're still going to produce more than 0%, they will not take it off your order. But if there's a situation where it's 0%, like on these options that we talked about on F-150, where it's very low, it's probably 0%, that's why they're making us take those off or add the removal onto it, means that's how they're going to be produced, and so they are going to be adding it. So that's a different, very rare situation. This is the first time I've seen that where Ford's just said, hey, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna take this off. And maybe it's before that, but I haven't been that involved in the scheduling and ordering until this year. But all right. June said no question. Just want to say I hope you're feeling better soon. Feel free to take a week off. I was actually plan on taking a lot of the end of this week off, Anyway, but yep. All right. And then Jason says, I ordered an F450 Lariat in October. No movement on it. I just saw somebody on YouTube entity that ordered an F450 in November and already got taken delivery. Does that happen? It could happen. There could be several situations and the reasoning that might happen. One of them could be the way yours was ordered versus the way theirs was ordered. and some of it can actually have to do too with when with the dealer's allocations. So most vehicles, Maverick, they're trying to go away from that right now, but most vehicles, the dealer has to have allocations, and most people gain allocations by having a custom order. Right now, that's where most of those allocations come from. So, but it could be just the difference in how yours is ordered. Yours might have something that's a constraint item that's causing it to be delayed. Now, let me get into the topic real quick and cover that, and I'll get back into a few questions for a little bit. Probably not going to last too much longer, to be honest with you folks. All right, so um, now, one of the things I think when we start looking at orders is, as you can see, the topic there is how to make sure your order is approved by Ford. Your dealer can show you. This is the one way that I know. I know that there's a person that submits the orders to ROVP, and that's what it's called for the Maverick, and I'm going to show you an image of that in just a second. And that has to be done, or else your order is going to be looked at. So all vehicles right now are that way. Ford is looking at COVP orders, ROVP orders. That's where you're going to be looking at your order. If you submit it, if the dealer submitted your order and did not do all the documents and everything, your order is not being looked at. Now, there is one way of knowing for sure that your order is good, and that's if your order is in priority 2. So if it's in priority 2, the region pulled it down to priority 2, so your order is good. It wouldn't be in priority 2 if it wasn't. So I had somebody kind of reach out to me on the Maverick Truck Club, because I mentioned here's how to have your dealer check on that, and he says, well, my order is good because it's priority 2, and he's right. So if you have your order in a priority 2 status, anything below 10, only the region can do that. Your order is good. You know it's ROVP approved. You know Ford wants to look at those. Now for us, I'll just let you know, for if you have where you have an order, how old your order is can show you whether or not you should be priority 2 yet or not. So pretty much what the region's doing is they're taking the older orders and they're pulling them down to priority 2. So like for us, about all of our orders, all of our hybrid orders through the month of October are in priority 2 right now. So about all of our orders, there's like one, because I think we made a change and it hasn't been flipped down to priority 2 yet. So I actually did email and get those changed, but we have a couple that aren't, but they're getting changed back down to priority 2. So pretty much any hybrid order through October, and if it's the same way as our region and your region where your dealer's at, if you have a hybrid order that's in June, July, August, September, October, and it's not in priority 2, then that's where you might question whether or not your order is ROVP approved. The others, EcoBoost orders through December 15th. All of our EcoBoost orders through December 15th are in priority 2 right now. So if your order is in priority 2, you don't have to worry about it. You're good. If your order is still in a 10, you call your dealer, hey, what's my order, the priority code on my order? And if they tell you it's a 10, and then if you are sitting in those dates that I just mentioned, you might want to ask them whether or not you're RVP approved. Let me show you how you can give them instructions. I can give you this in one full spreadsheet if you want. I'm actually going to take my webcam off for this. it might be in that balanced out state, which means that if they did not get yours approved before the deadline, then your order is not being looked at until 2023. So the order will stay in there, but it basically becomes an early 23, and then they're still going to have to do the ROVP paperwork and everything. In fact, anybody that gets rolled over will probably have to do that paperwork as well. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify and let people know that, because it might be something to look at if you're waiting and waiting. You're in those early months, and reach out to the dealer and say, hey, where's just checking on the status of my order. Is it, how's it looking? And if they say it's not, it's still unscheduled, say, what's the status of it? Does it still say unscheduled clean? And if they say yeah, then you're probably good. It's probably RVP approved, but you can't always ask them what the priority code is. And if you're outside those dates, November, December or November for a hybrid, or late December, January for an EcoBoost, you can always ask them for that proof of RVP approval. So just kind of want to throw that out there, because there are some people that may not be, and I hate for you to sit and not know that. Your order will still be in there again, but it's too late for you to be able to see that. Oh, I lost my sound, sorry. Oh, when I took my camera off, did it come back? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so when I put those clips up, I basically was just running through the description. So I guess I had no sound when I had the clips up because I took the camera off. I forgot I'm at home, so I had to do with what I have here. So I did lose the microphone there while I was explaining that. But for the most part, all I was doing was just running through those graphics. I was just kind of explaining it word for word there. And I would just kind of, probably the one thing I want to make sure that I did here that you guys heard was going through those different steps of how to get to the order, was that on that 5th step there, that they can just take a screenshot of that, or they can snip it, whatever they want to do there, and that approved there that I circled, that's what you're looking for. So if it says denied or pending, then your order's not going to be looked at by Ford. So just want to make sure everybody knows that. So again, just making sure that everybody knows what's going on there and how to get that. And if you want this all on one page, I have it. I can email it to you guys. Go ahead and just email over to the timothybarts@gmail, and I can get that over to you, and I can do that there. So all right, so we'll read a few questions for a little bit here. All right, so let's see here. Can you just roll over to next year again? We could not hear you. So did I basically was saying that if your order was not ROVP approved, then what it'll do is it'll get kicked over to a 23. So that's what I was basically saying, that it'll be pushed over as a 2023, but the order will stay in there, but you'll still have to go through the ROVP all over again. So that's what you're going to need to do. So again, if it's not, at this point, it's too late for it to get RVP approved. So if your orders, but if you want to know whether or not your order's being looked at or not, you'd want to ask your dealer to see if they can get you a screenshot of the ROP approval for you. And then, but again, if it's in priority 2, you don't have to worry. The order's good. And then on 23, that order get pushed to 23. You're going to have to go through the ROVP again. In fact, any order that gets pushed from 22 to 23 will have to go through the ROVP approval again. You'll have to do it again because there might be some changes and everything. So we had to do that with all of our Bronco customers when we switched over or moved them over. It was when we did 21s, we didn't have to do the ROVP. We didn't have to do the COVP, ROVP process. But when it had to roll over to 22, we had to do that on all those orders. So you'll have to have that done on any order that gets rolled over to 23 anyway. All right, so Claire said it sounds like they are going to build anything that is priority 2 for this model year. Is that fair assumption? Not necessarily. So here's how the order gets put into priority 2 is by your region. So that doesn't mean that the factory is going to take those orders. The region is just saying these are our oldest orders. We would like them to look at first. As long as they match up with another order, the priority 2 should get taken over a priority 10. Doesn't mean all the priority 2s are going to get built this year. So that, I think that is not 100% true there, because they will, the region gives it that priority 2 number but the factory will take what they can. So there may be some Priority 2s that do not get built. I would be almost a lot of them probably, some of them, not a lot of them, I wouldn't say that, but like I actually have been saying that I think through October you're probably good on a hybrid order. Well, all of our Octobers are Priority 2, so maybe we'll see. So okay. Question: I ordered a Lariat Hybrid First Edition Lux 1 September, currently Priority 2. Good. Been 2 on the allocations. Thoughts on getting it in August? Well, it would need to get scheduled pretty soon. I would probably say, I mean, first editions are supposed to all get built this year. And so I would say yours would get scheduled. Probably wouldn't be surprised if it's not this month or next month. Do make sure you don't have any constraint items on there though. So make sure that you don't have, the bed mat or the bed extender or some extra stuff like that on there that are in constraints, because we had an order like that. We took a couple things off. It got scheduled. Just make sure you don't have any constraint items on there that will cause a first edition to possibly not get scheduled because of it. So, all right, Johnny, what'd you have to say here? One of our viewers said their dealer would not ROVP. What do you suggest they do? So their dealer did not ROVP. Am I understanding that right? Or refused to, or didn't do it? I know I've heard stories of somebody, some people have told me that their dealer said you didn't have to ROVP these, or you didn't have to COVP. COVP, ROVP is technically the same thing. It's just how it's done. Like the Lightning is done through ROVP, which is, it's basically supposed to be reservation to order process. And a lot of the early Mavericks were a reservation first. You put in a reservation, the dealer contacted you, and then you submitted your order with the dealer. So that's why they called it the reservation to order process, ROVP, or reservation to order verification process. But then on COVP, it's a certified order verification process. So all other vehicles that were ordered straight through the dealership without a reservation were COVP instead of ROVP. So that's kind of the difference between those. So yeah, if they did not do the ROVP, your order is sitting in there, but nothing is happening. It's not to get looked at, and at this point, you can't get it ROVP. It's too late, so it just can't get done. Give me a second. So I'm not sure what to do in that situation, other than you're probably going to have to wait until the rollover to 23 and then have that dealer do the ROVP, because there was a deadline. Just like with the F-150, the orders had to be in by last Friday, but the COVP last date for that is this week. I think in 2 days or something is the deadline for it. So on the Maverick, the last order to be in was January 27th, and you had till February 3rd to get the ROVP paperwork in. So if they didn't get it in by then your order is not going to be looked at. Yeah, and Strokes said, ROVP equals COVP. I'm not as good at looking in a COVP website, because you can't look it up like you can ROVP. It's so easy, because you can go right in and just put in the order number, whereas COVP, you actually have to export the whole file and then try to find the order through all of the COVP orders. So technically all the Maverick orders are in the COVP website, but it's easier just to go on the ROVP website to see those. It's so easy and quick to do. That's what I found out. All right. You don't think they will build November hybrids as 22? Depends what they are. If they don't have constraint items on there, yes. So we have a lot of our October and November orders. About half of them don't have the Copilot 360 in the luxury package. There's going to be a lot of those orders, those hybrid orders, that might get selected above some of the others because they're very simple build without the luxury packages. So I do think there will be some of them in November. I really believe that if you have the luxury package or co-pilot package and you have a hybrid November order, I don't think you'll see it for 22 model year. I don't think it'll be billed as a 22. It'll get pushed to 23. That's my opinion. I feel pretty confident to be able to say that. Lots of constraint items. Thanks for the heads up. No problem. All right. JR said, drop ship dealer damage Maverick near rear seat after going. Drop ship dealer damage Maverick rear seat after going get accessories installed. What can I do because they are giving me the runaround and not fixing issues? Ooh. Okay, so what I'm understanding there, JR, is that you so your drop ship. Did you order with us? Because for some reason your name sounds familiar. So of course I see you on here about every week, but that's probably why your name looks familiar. But I don't know if you ordered with us or not. But whether if you ordered with us and it was drop shipped there, talk to us. But if it's damage in delivery from Ford, then they should cover it. Ford usually will take care of any damages done in transit. They always make sure, actually the transit company usually takes care of it. Oh, I'm running out of juice here. Give me a sec. So make sure that make sure your dealer, that they submit that. So if it was in transit, then that's one thing. Now, if it was damage from them doing it, then they should cover it. When you get your vehicle, it should be a brand new vehicle. You should not have it's a brand new vehicle. It should be perfect, right? And if it's not, then the dealer should fix it. So I'm not sure, but yeah, if you ordered with us but had it delivered there, drop shipped there, let us know, and we can help as well. Help with that, talking and communicating with the dealer as well. So, all right. Heard a rumor said that if you tell them that you'll take the Maverick without the chips, but the PKG parts are put in, Lux, Toe, etc., they will build and put chips later. True. All I can say is I could not confirm that by any bulletin that Ford has provided. So I don't think it's true, because just for the fact that we haven't seen any kind of information from Ford telling us that we could do that. I know at one point they were going to talk about shipping vehicles to dealers that way, but there was we haven't gotten any information that they were doing it yet, and that we could even have that as an option. So that has not been, I would say it hasn't been confirmed. So at this point, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily true until you can confirm it. So, I mean, and maybe there is something that I missed in a way of a dealer bulletin out there that was maybe just given to general managers or something, but I will say that if they can give me some information, then I can, I'd want to see some sort of Ford public announcement to that, or not necessarily public, but at least a dealer bulletin to that, to be able to confirm that. So, how long did the average Bronco order that got rolled over have to wait? Well, we're still getting. We still have people that were rolled over. In fact, I know one person that has had an order in for a while. I think she put the reservation in August of 2021, just like a month out, and hers got rolled over and still has not been scheduled. I think we still have about 20 that haven't been scheduled. So from the original orders. So some of them still waiting. Some of them, in fact, we have some that are sitting over there. I think Johnny, I mentioned it earlier in his video that there are 53,000 vehicles that are sitting and waiting for chips. My Expedition happens to be one of them, and I know somebody's Bronco that's sitting over there and has been sitting since the end of January waiting on a chip as well. So there's a bunch of them still waiting on chips. So that's a real thing going on a lot of vehicles right now. Any word on F-150 trimmer production? Ordered mine in December or January. I know that the scheduling of trimmers is very low. The trimmer line is a very big constraint. I think if I remember right, like 3% or something like that. Let's see if I remember. I have that on my phone here. Let's see, constraint for May. Yeah, trimmer 3 to 5% depending on dealer. So the trimmer itself is a constraint. So 3 to 5%, very low, that's being scheduled, and that's probably what's taken so long. All right, thanks Tim. I'll try to confirm the rumor. Yeah, ask, if you get a screenshot of something, or usually what a lot of people on there will say, what's the source? That's always good to know, because that's not something I've heard of yet. So. Alright, thanks, Suresh. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny is we have a stock expedition. I just was reading Johnny's message there. We have a expedition. My expedition was built March 28th, and it's been waiting on a chip. But then we have stock expeditions that were just built last week that were released. So I think so. I'm hoping, because I've seen that one was released and gone through, that maybe they have chips. So they're going to start putting the chips in the vehicles that have been waiting, and hopefully mine will get shipped out soon because of that. Because I think what they do is when they get a load of chips in, they give some of them to the factory and some of them to the off-site where they're sitting at, and they put those in the vehicles and get it moved out. But they want to keep the ones at the factory moving along, because it's a lot quicker for them if it's already there to be able to just put the chips in them. And so that usually, so you see that happen. We have Steven, that he's been on the live stream before in the chat, and him and his wife ordered Broncos. His was scheduled and built January. His wife's was in February. His was waiting on a chip. His wife's got built with a chip and was shipped on, and their builds are almost identical. So they just and his is still waiting on that chip. So anyway, so that can happen there. So. All right, any other questions? All right, Johnny, I don't know if you're talking to me or not, but my expedition is an XLT 202A equipment group with the special edition package. So didn't go pretty much just like what my wife has now. So she loves her expedition that she has now. She's got an 18, and her lease is up, and she likes it. So I pretty much matched it as much as I could, just exactly what she already has and what she's used to. So. Although we did look at a timberline, because I said, well, we got a couple timberlines that are probably going to be here before yours is. And she's like, well, what's that? And so we looked on the website, and it's like, I don't mind the look of that. We had an expedition once that had red accent and or copper interior. I think it actually was a Lincoln. She really liked it. And so she doesn't mind the little accents, the orange accents inside. She goes, well, that wouldn't bother me. So I'm like, yeah. So, but there are some differences in the Timberline. Timberline does look pretty cool, but I think they're only built in the regular length, and we needed the extended length. So, anyway. What day of the week does Ford choose Mavericks for orders? Typically, all scheduling happens on Thursdays. You may not get your email then, because they're not sending out the emails to the Maverick customers when they get scheduled on Thursday, but instead they're doing it when you get an actual scheduled today build. Just like with my Lightning was the same way. I didn't get an email until like a couple weeks ago that mine was getting scheduled, but I knew because I looked in our system to look up ours. So right. Any other questions? Wait, Charles. I thought Ford was going to ship some trucks without some chips in them. Are they not doing that? No, they're not. That was something that they talked to dealers at NADA about, and that was released through Automotive News from one of the dealers that they were considering doing that, and then if things get drastic enough that they were going to be doing that, but they would let us know that ahead of time, and we haven't seen any of that. Every vehicle that showed up, everything that's been shipped out and delivered to us have all had the chips. We haven't had to install any chips later or anything like that. So all vehicles are coming with the chips, and that's why they're still holding up some. Now, I'd see with 53,000 sitting around, you would think that now would be the time, if anything, that they would send the vehicles without the chips. So anyway, my wife even jokes. She goes, "Does the chip in my 18 work on the 22? We could just take the chips from that one and put in it." But anyway, my 22 F-150 was scheduled for production the week of May 9th, but I never received the estimated build date email. Is a production date a rough estimate? No, it's pretty accurate. Once you get it to the date, okay, so it was May 9th, the week of May 9th, but never received an estimated build date email. Is a production date a rough estimate? Usually you'll be scheduled to the week, but it can move back and forth. And you said you did order with us. If you want to email me your order number, I can look it up because we've got a bunch of orders. It would be a lot easier if I have the order number. But if you give me your order number and email it to the timothybartz@gmail.com, then I can look it up and tell you if it's moved or not, and then if it's got a scheduled build date yet. So, aside from chip holds, how is shipping looking across the lines of the models? Are you seeing delays? We're seeing a little bit of delay. It seems like in Kansas City, once I get to Kansas City, there's not much of a delay until it gets to Kansas City and it's ready for convoy. And that's where I think we're seeing some of the delays still, is getting on to truck carriers. So that typically is taking a little longer. We've noticed a lot of them are taking an extra week to get from Kansas City to us than they normally would. So, but anyway. But, folks, I think I'm going to go ahead and call that a night for this live stream. Hopefully wasn't as good as my normal ones. I know that, but we'll get back to the swing of it next week. And but I do want to thank you guys for jumping in and for being here. And if you have any questions, don't forget to send those questions to the fordvideoguy at gmail.com. And I will answer those questions on there. I'll probably be spending some time doing that since I can't record videos while I'm, laid over here and sick. So, but if you could just email me those questions and I'll try to respond to those. I do have a bunch I need to get to, so if you have sent me some questions, I will be getting back to you. And so I will find that out. JR, I just did notice that you said you did order with us. And so I'd like to get some information. So make sure you contact your salesperson, or if you're struggling with that, email me, and we'll get to the bottom of that and get that fixed. So again, if it was damage in transit, then Ford pays for that to be fixed. So there's no reason why the delivering dealer won't take care of it unless they don't have a body shop to take care of it. But they should fix that. So all damages should be fixed if it's damaged in transit. And then if they put any accessories on your vehicle for you, that wouldn't be something that we did. They would have done that. That would have to be between you and them. But if it was damaged and getting to you from transport, that should be taken care of by Ford. So contact us if they're not wanting to do that and take care of that, and we'll jump in and be a liaison for you with them, since you did buy the vehicle from us. So again, thanks everybody for joining me, and hope you have a great night and a great week. Bye.